Hello and welcome to Note to File, a clinical research podcast.
A collection of interviews, candid commentary, and general nonsense for the clinical research community.
Check us out at notetofilepodcast.com.
And now, without further ado, on to the show.
Hey guys, welcome to another Note to File. I almost didn't uncheck the loop button and we almost got two intros, but
So we always need.
Saved it at the last second.
Yes.
All right. Well, sometimes you got to celebrate the little wins. So thank you guys for tuning in. Today is October 23rd, and today is National Horror Movie Day, which seems appropriate for this time of year.
What, we're like a week out from Halloween?
Yeah, I believe so. Week and a day.
I'm not like the biggest horror movie fan. They're okay.
I was going to ask, what's your favorite?
I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not, again, I have some ones that like I can appreciate, but it's not what I will like go to. So like my best friend fucking loves horror movies, and she has like streaming services dedicated to horror movies, and she does all the things with it and goes to, like,
people who like them tend to be like really into horror movies, it seems like. Yeah.
I mean, she's I love her to death, but yes, she is. I don't know. I could probably name a couple that I'm like, oh yeah, that's a decent movie, but like it's nothing that I'm like, I don't know, particularly drawn to. What about you?
I mean, I think as a kid, I really liked horror movies. I loved like the Friday the 13th franchise. I mean, obviously that stuff, it's hard to watch as an adult that you're like, oh, this is all very silly.
It's like the classic like 80s, 90s like slasher.
Yeah. I guess I like more like the psychological aspects versus like I don't like stuff that's got like supernatural components. It just takes me out of the movie, Okay.
What do you mean like supernatural? Like,
I mean, if it's like aliens or like even if you go watch those, like Jason has been like stabbed and shot and all those things a million times. It's like not realistic. It's too ridiculous.
I mean, the production value also adds some elements, like, because they're dated, right? Like you're gonna get right? Like, I mean, I'm sure it's great at the time, but yeah.
Hey, shout out Jonathan. We're also here for the general nonsense. So thanks for hanging in there with us. Yeah, I was trying to think because I don't know the last like horror movie I saw that I was like, this is great.
Yeah, I used to watch a lot more of them like on October to be like, I should do this. And then I'm kind of like, I'm not really enjoying myself and I don't have that much free time. So what am I doing? And I mean, like I have a couple younger kids, so like I'm not watching that as a family event. So like we're watching like Hocus Pocus, and, like Halloween Town.
Gory murder horror movies with your small children.
Weird. It's like weird, I know.
Not too late to get them.
Some really out there parenting tactics.
Well, it's not too late. We'll see.
I still got a week left. And maybe tonight.
There you go. There you go. All right. Let's go. Let's jump in.
What do we got?
I don't know. I keep thinking it's Friday all day, so. All right. So, I mean, hell, most of these are from you, so feel free to jump right in if you want to talk about any of these.
I mean, I think this is interesting. It was a research study out of Italy that was conducted and published today, basically looking, comparing, contrasting like CRC job descriptions versus CRC lived experiences. Full disclosure, I have zero insight into what the site experience like is in Italy, so I don't know how much variation there is globally on the CRC job role.
Same here for that matter, but it seems from my quick read that it's not too terribly different maybe than what we're dealing with over here.
I mean, I'm like, what are the basic findings here that you dug into or found either interesting or insightful? I mean, I think basically like the theme of it is CRC job descriptions are significantly underrepresenting what the CRC job role is. And CRCs are consistently asked to go above and beyond and complete a myriad of tasks that is not in their job description or expectations across a bunch of different domains, like regulatory, financial, patient, clinical, all of it. That's like the general high level theme I got. But is there anything specific that like popped out to you when you were looking at this?
I think so. One thing I found interesting was that at least in these, almost everyone had a master's degree as a coordinator, which is, I don't think you're going to find that as commonly here in the US.
So I have two questions. Both of them are probably going to demonstrate my ignorance. That's fine. Is a master's the same thing, right? Like I know like sometimes like
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
college graduate degrees have a different connotation in different countries. So like that would be
Yeah,
my
that's
question. Fair. And the second one is there another role that works with the CRC that is not master level? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, is a CRC in Italy, for example, something of a more senior level role in that regard than that you have to have a graduate degree for, and there's someone else who's doing more administrative?
Yeah, those are good. Yeah, those are fair questions and maybe worth looking into a little bit further. This was where I kind of like ended up where I found a few. First of all, not a huge study, 171 respondents, so not the biggest study in the world. And this one only about 40%, a little under 40% worked in oncology versus a previous where everyone worked in oncology. The experience was, 50-50 on whether it was 5 years or more. Honestly, I was surprised that 75% are satisfied with their job satisfaction. Like their job satisfaction overall was satisfied. It was a higher number than I expected, because then you also see that 42% are considering a job change to CRO pharma.
I mean, I think that's a common trajectory though, because what we've seen is that CRCs are, I mean, we talked about this like with the CRAs, we talk about CRAs, like why do CRAs have such burnout? And I think it's because it is have similar maybe level of work or type of work, different work, but similar band, and you're getting paid more. And so CRCs potentially are seeing the higher increase in salary, but then it's like, how do you make up that increase in salary if you're doing the same band of work? Well, you're going to work more. And so it's like, you see that like, it's like the grass is greener, right? You see the dollars dangled and you're like, oh, this is going to be great. And then you're like, oh, this also sucks.
Right. Well, and again, I think this is where it's interesting. I see this and talk about this a lot, but like the scope of role is so weird for research coordinators, frankly. I hired a coordinator. I've hired coordinators who've had roles at other institutions that are CRC, but they do so much less than maybe what I would expect a CRC to be able to do. Again, the term is almost like CRC is almost meaningless, I feel like, because it can be you show up and you see patients in the clinic. It can be, and it touches on this in the article or the paper, that it can be doing budgets even. It can be writing SOPs. It can be very broad administrative work as well.
Well, I think I agree with that, because like we also look to hire CRCs as well. So like, there are more growth paths for CRCs outside of sites, and CROs like vendors and such also look for that, because it's a great experience. But I think it's exactly to your point, like not all CRCs are created equal. Like there's a huge range of quality. Obviously that happens in anything, but it's also, there's a huge range in like what their even experiences as a CRC. So you can't say I was a CRC and A, B, and C.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Like maybe A and F. It's like maybe a huge range.
And Louisa chimed in, said she's a CRC with a master's, but most of the CRCs she knows have a bachelor's degree, several foreign MDs, and some PhD, which I would say I've seen as well. Not sure how to feel about the wild range of degrees. Yeah, I mean, I don't know either, because I'll be really honest. Some of the best coordinators I've hired don't have a bachelor's degree even. And I know a lot of people may not even ever get the chance to be a coordinator without a bachelor's degree. And actually, I had to get hired because I dropped out of college, like my first time around. When I got hired into the industry, I was an assistant. They had to basically take the position I was applying for and like rewrite it for someone who hadn't yet finished their bachelor's degree. So,
and that's why you went back to get your degree then? Is that how that transpired?
Yeah. At that point, I went back and ended up finishing. But like at the time, I had to be hired as an assistant and not a coordinator because I didn't have a bachelor's degree. Did that keep me from, could I have done the job any better? No, not really, frankly.
Well, I mean, this reminds me of a conversation that I saw a couple months ago about like listing degree titles, or like titles like the alphabet soups in like email signatures, and like what that means. And it's like, So it's wild how meaningful yet meaningless degrees are. Like, in some sense, getting a bachelor's or getting a graduate degree is indicative of something, but like
Sure.
potentially. But then you see a bunch of clowns who get bachelor's degrees and a bunch of complete idiots who get, I mean, like, I've talked to doctors who are morons, right? Like,
Sure.
and you have people who have lived experiences and done trades and they're brilliant and, you know, wickedly intelligent, not even just like street smart, just really bright people. And so
Sure.
it's an interesting, like, I mean, you get into whole like access to education and all of that. Like, that's a different conversation, but ultimately the concept of like, what is the use of a degree at some point? And I think at some level, it's,
Well,
I don't know.
I tend to think that it's, if anything, it's just the lowest, easiest, I guess, lowest common denominator. It's like, hey, can you show up and do a thing with some consistency? Oh, you can? Okay. Because that's all it really tells you. Because, you know, even to Luis's point, like a lot of the CRCs I know, their bachelor's degree are in literature or something not at all related to science.
Yeah.
And you don't really need to know. Again, everything I say comes with a ton of caveats, so don't nail me to the cross. But like, you don't necessarily need a super in-depth knowledge of all things medical to be a good coordinator. Again, some people disagree with that. You know, maybe not. But here's someone else, Julie. Huge fan of experience over degree. Same. BCG did a report on this. Well, there's where you lost me because how I feel about BCG, but I'd be curious to see their report nonetheless.
And I think, so I was going to say that I think there's a huge piece of that for me is like I have a good friend who never finished college and is constantly down on themselves for like, well, I'll never be able to get another job because I don't have a degree. And I was like, homeboy, you're in your like late 30s, early 40s. Like, you have had, and you've worked the whole time. Like, you have a wealth of experience. Like, you are way more qualified than some numbnuts who's like 24 and out of college. Like, use that. Like, just have, but there's a confidence thing that comes with that. But I totally agree. Like, experiences.
And I guess
so
agree. I 100% agree. Now, not every corporation is going to think that. They're going to be like, oh, you have a bachelor's degree. If you don't, you're going to get weeded out. Probably, especially now with AI, like doing a pre-screen. If they don't see a degree in there, they might kick them out. Shout out Daniel Perez. Hope you're doing well, man. Human illness and pain it causes requires no formal education to understand. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I might want someone who has some emotional intelligence and able to sympathize with a patient rather than someone who's got great clinical acumen.
And there's some things you can't teach.
That's true.
And I think that's one of them, like empathy and emotional intelligence. Like, you can't necessarily say like, hey, read a couple articles. This is going to get you where you need to go. Like,
you can take a class. Can I get a class in feelings? They should
have that. I mean, I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. I had a ton of classes on feelings. Doesn't develop emotional intelligence though.
That's unfortunate. Hopefully they invent a pill for that someday.
Sure. I'm sure there already is. There's a lot of pills for that.
That's a good point. All right. Anyways, interesting. I don't know if there's anything like blockbuster in here, but it probably doesn't hurt to have some more like published material that, you know, kind of scopes out the clinical research coordinator role. Interesting.
I think it's a topic that needs more conversation in general. I feel the role is taken for granted, not fully understood, and not really looked at. And I think
again, even in this, even this few minutes in comments from the audience seem to back up that there's no consistency. Yeah. So, you know, anyways, maybe we'll get some more conversation about that. Hopefully.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one as well.
Yeah, I thought this was an interesting one. General concept here is that Thermo Fisher came up with a clinical trials carbon calculator, which basically looks at clinical trials and all the activities that happen within those clinical trials and gives them a carbon calculator score to basically say what's the impact on the environment, basically like the economic impacts of a trial based on all the pieces involved in it. And I think this is fascinating to me. I mean, I know we have a lot that needs to be fixed across the industry, and there's a lot of things that, you know, we need to focus on, and it's interesting. This hasn't been one that I've really heard a whole lot about like what is the environmental impacts of clinical trials. Like, you see, like, there's all these other regulations around different manufacturing and automotive and everything that really looks at environmental impacts of what we're doing, and this is an interesting lens to look at clinical trials through.
Yeah, I mean, I've made posts and talked about this before, but I mean, a lot of sites will tell you how incredibly wasteful these studies can be when it comes to, shipping extra lab kits that have to get tossed, whether it be, I still like, we'll tell sponsors, please don't send us any paper. And we still get binders that are full packages and packages of binders, packages and packages of lab kits and lab shipping that may not get used because they need to send you 20, off the bat, regardless of whether you use them or not. And I'm sure that's just a tiny piece. And then, if you start to get into, I wonder how this is going to incorporate, but like AI usage, AI ain't exactly great for the environment. I don't know if this is a newsflash to anyone, but like
the thing is, I think it is. So I think the understanding of AI in non-tech specific industries is minimal as far as what it even does, what it functions, what capabilities are. I think the how is even less understood, or people haven't, not that they don't understand it, they just haven't even thought about it or looked at it. So it's like there's like data mines that are huge energy resource sucks to do this, right? And so like the more AI you need it
to make like a funny picture of myself.
Just kill a couple trees and you got it.
I need it to like write a funny LinkedIn post for me with like a bunch of emojis. Like, I don't care about the trees.
But it's interesting to say, like, if they look at AI in this sort of calculator as well, and as we use AI, how that will impact it. So I think there's two angles to look at this. And then it also looks into, like, it talks about sustainable choices in trial design, like before and after, like during, before and after, like how are we looking at this? And I think there's that point you mentioned, like there's very specific, like shipping, right? And like lab kits. And then there's like, but then there is the other stuff that's like that you're using all these technical AI tools. Well, what is the impact for those and the vendors you're selecting and manufacturing of the drug, right? Like what does the manufacturing look like?
So they'll look at every stage, including patient travel, product manufacturing, site operations, and lab sample processing. And again, I'm sure those include a ton of different, smaller things within. Mm-hmm. It's interesting to take patient travel into account. I mean, I guess it makes sense that you would.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, it's cool. It's open source. I don't know if that means, or it's open access.
Yeah, I don't know what that exactly entails, but I do like the concept of it. And I'm glad to see that we're doing something about this in our industry. I think, like I said, we have a lot of problems we need to fix, but like this seems like it's a pretty important one.
You mean like
the planet
of the whole universe is
the
important?
The planet that we live on.
No, making money is more important.
For humans to be healthy and for us to fix their medical conditions, they probably need a place to live. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's for my grandkids to worry about.
Good point.
They'll be fine. Yeah, they'll figure it out probably. Uh-huh. All right, let's. Reddit's always fun and silly, and this one was, I thought, particularly fun. Just someone posting that they're a felon, in prison for wire fraud for a failed startup in the financial industry, which is also a story I would love to hear more about. But they have 6 years of clinical research experience and curious like what their prospects might be. I think this is interesting.
The biggest red flag for me is, though, it's, people make mistakes. People should be given second chances. Like that's the whole purpose of the justice system. But like, if you have something like fraud
that's a tough one, right?
That's a tough one in this. Like that's a tough one if you're trying to go into something which is literally all data and financials, which is what you would.
What we do is all based off of good. Most of what we do, especially at the site level, is based off of not lying or not making things up. Right?
It's like if you're going to commit fraud, it's going to be money or data. And those are the two things we operate in the clinical trial space on the site level.
Pretty much.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting. Although, I wonder, like, they mentioned here, like, some of the smaller or European-based companies don't do background checks. This person's company doesn't do them. Previous job, no background check. I don't know. I think it's probably in an industry that is, again, so like sensitive to, I mean, essentially honesty, right? Like a lot of what we do is like just based on honesty.
Trust me, I signed this piece of paper. Come out to my site
Yeah.
every
We
couple of
definitely,
months.
all these patients are real, and I definitely took the
And all
blood
the data is
pressure.
real, and we're charging you for all the things that we've done, and we're not charging you for things we haven't done. And
Well, and even a CRA saying like, yeah, I checked all this stuff and it looks good. I mean, again, a lot of it's based on trust,
yeah,
relationships, and trust. I mean, I guess that may change more as like there are ways to review things more objectively, but there's a ton of variation.
well, I
You
think
know,
there was another Reddit post I saw that was like similar, where it was like some group was like, "Oh, I trusted a site and they screwed me over, and now I'm screwed. Like, what do I do?" And it's like,
yeah, I
we got
saw
to your
it.
point where it's like, yeah, it's trust. It comes back to trust, which is interesting because there seems to be such a inherent like mistrust of the different parties in our industry, like sites and sponsors and CROs. Like it's kind of like that like Spider-Man meme where everyone's kind of pointing at
Right.
each other, and it's like maybe we need to fix that.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. So I'd never really considered that. Huh. Yeah, interesting. Anyways, I thought it was interesting and funny, and to hear the sort of different takes in the thread too are interesting.
The
Some
thing
people
I
are
thought
like,
was
no. And some people are like, yeah, you're not going to have any problems.
the thing I thought was silly is there's never in this to be like, yeah, I would never do this again. I regret it. It's just like, I committed fraud. I'm out now. What can I do?
Yeah.
Not like, hey, I did it. I understand the error of my ways. It was this, and this, and led to this, and this is why. And like, I want to get back into this. It was like, yep, committed fraud. Where can I
Hey,
get a job?
hey, they did their time. All right. They did their time. I mean, they already have 6 years of research experience and spent time in prison in their early 30s. So honestly, they sound like a go-getter to me. I'll hire you, felon. Hit me up. I will tell you. Yeah, I say actually, please don't do that. But I mean, I will say that we worked with a sponsor who placed a coordinator at our site, and apparently they didn't do a background check because that guy was a felon.
What happened?
And well, I don't know. He had some, let's just say, sensitive charges against him. And the way I found out was that he was on the news. And someone at the clinic that we worked with was like, "Hey, isn't this like your employee?" And then I'd be like, "Whoa, I didn't hire him. He's not my employee." Like, I mean, he technically worked for the sponsor, for the hiring company that the sponsor hired to find him.
Well, yeah.
He ended up passing away in a shootout with the police. So
So
yeah,
the problem rectified itself.
I mean, one way or the other, but I'll say that was
Jesus.
a interesting,
I mean,
pretty
that.
interesting time.
Well, shit.
Yeah. Screech the show to a halt for that story. All right, I'm going to skip the other one because I don't even know what to say about it. And plus, we're getting close to time here, but probably the most important news article that you found.
I mean, obviously, kind of enjoy sneakers, as some folks may have gathered. And Nike decided they're working on a motorized sneaker. So I think Nike has, it's from a business perspective, Nike is a fascinating one to watch from a business and marketing and concepts. Like they have some, the business models that they run on their sneakers is fascinating. And I know they've had some like ups and downs with like profits and different CEOs and different tactics. And I think this is an interesting one where they're trying to build out their like innovation labs and what can they do to like be on the forefront again of like sneaker design. And they're deciding motorized sneakers is the way to go, which in my infinite ignorance, my first thing that popped into my head was like those wheelie sneakers from like the early 2000s. And I was like, they're going to motorize those? This is going to be wild.
Yeah,
Coming to realize that's probably not what they're talking about.
I mean, I wouldn't, put it past them. This was interesting, though, is that they introduced the Mind 001 and 002, which tap into the mind-body connection by activating key sensory areas of the brain via underfoot stimulation.
That's
Those will
like
be out in
acupuncture.
January. Sort of. I mean, sounds like it.
Yeah, I'm all for this though, Oliver. Heelys 2.0. Get Nikes to buy Heelys. Call it a day.
I mean, that's not the worst idea. You can get a little engine in there.
Right, like a little. But I mean, but to your point, like there probably are more sophisticated things they could be doing, which is interesting. And then another thing that pops into my mind is what kind of statements are they making, and are they doing any type of clinical trials on these motorized shoes to justify and substantiate the claims that they have on, acupuncture foot stimulation on my experience.
Cooling technology. They'll be putting out in the World Cup. I know that they've put out too, like shoes that are focused on like mobility or lack of mobility.
What do you mean?
So like shoes that will like essentially tie themselves. You can even look back at like the old Air Mags that came out from Back to the Future, where like you put your feet in and they close, they light up and they close. There's some.
They have like the air pumps. The air pumps.
Yeah, there you go. You can automate the air pumps.
Yeah, automate the air pumps on the tongue.
There you go. Oliver and Daniel get together, make them AI enabled. You could see, here you go. Amanda, thank you. Nike Fly Ease, get into sneakers. So yeah, I think those are more of like some of the ones built for like actual mobility or lack of mobility.
I'm not sure. I don't know what the correct terms are these days.
No. That's cool. So yeah, actually, sure, wheel around like crazy, but also maybe help people who otherwise have problems. Okay.
And if they ever need, product testers, you just,
there you go.
We do some sponsorships. I think Nike would.
Nike
sponsor Note to File.
Hit us up, Nike. Jeez, what have you guys been waiting on? Okay.
It's their new innovation plan. It's just like a part C of their marketing initiative for
make sure that you do an opus of that part so that Nike
and just over and over again, just Nike sponsor Note to File.
There you go. That's it.
And just send it to everyone, every email we can get.
Just start tagging people on LinkedIn. That seems to be
so that works now.
Definitely the least obnoxious way to get what you want. Just start tagging people.
So, yeah.
People appreciate it. All right. Anything else?
No, I don't think so. We're back. We have one Note to File next week on Thursday. So a week from today, we'll be back for another sticky notes, I believe.
I will be at Florence's Research Revolution, debating how great paper is. Ironically, question mark? Well, wait and see.
If that's recorded, I fully expect to see a copy because I'm very curious what you're going to come out of your mouth.
So if you're in Atlanta, come say hi.
That's beginning of next week?
It's the 26th to the 28th. So I think that's
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
Like that. Okay, cool.
So very cool. All right, guys. We will see you
next Thursday.
Next week. Bye.